I'm gonna see. But you said the WhatsApp is saying you waiting for me.
That's what it was saying, showing.
Okay, so let's see if it'll come in. Okay, so I'm live now. So let's see. See if you can enter into the studio now.
Right.
Mm.
This is you.
But I want you up here.
Right.
I'm gonna send you the messenger. See if it'll come in. But I want you up here. Let me see this picture. See if it'll come in. I want you up here. Still not letting me in. I just gotta check, but it's not in here. Did you get anything in the messenger? Oh, for Pete's sake. Okay, so we're just gonna push this back like that so they can see both of us, and we're gonna talk like that. Sis.
Okay.
All right. So we're just gonna push this back like that so they can see both of us, and we can talk like that. Sis. Because that's okay. It's technology, y'all. It's not cooperating, so we just gonna share this screen, and we just gonna talk, and we gonna go for it. Yeah, turn it down because it's gonna, do that reverb. All right. Okay. All right, guys. So welcome to my channel, Justina Thompson Journey Back Home to the Gambia, and I want you guys to make sure that you all like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Buy me a coffee. And also, we want to welcome Lynn Sade to our channel. And we are going to share her journey over here to Merida, Mexico. Okay, so Lynn, how are you doing today?
I am great. Hey, Queen, how are you doing
I'm
today?
wonderful.
Hey,
Wonderful.
Praise God. Praise
Yes.
God.
And I thank you for coming here on my channel and sharing with us and my guests your journey for coming back here to Merida, Mexico. So let's get started. So just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my background is my parents traveled to many, many places. My father was a pilot for 32 years.
Wow.
He served in the Air Force, also with Eastern United Airlines. My grandparents from the Caribbean, my grandmother from Scotland, Wales. So I have family not only in the U.S., but also in Europe, Canada, many places. And
Wow.
so I was used to traveling from the time I was a child. And through that exposure, I learned that family's everything.
Yeah.
Family is everything. And without family, there's hardly no existence.
Yeah.
And so from there and living in other places, but primarily the U.S., I went to school. My background was in the medical field, nursing, and went on to case management, obtained my master's degree, and worked at many hospitals from New York to Boston, New Jersey, Texas, and Atlanta. And from being in the medical field, and my grandmother was a nurse, my grandfather was a doctor. The one thing they taught me was to be true to yourself, be happy, and never allow anyone to make you feel less than who God created you to be.
Yes.
So during COVID, bringing everything in place, unlike other people who were shut down, as you know, in the medical field, nurses, doctors, morticians were working like 6-7 days a week. And through that experience, I was tired. We were tired. 10, 11, 12 hours a day.
Okay, so can I stop you right there?
Sure.
So you was during COVID, you were still living in the U.S. Okay, and so at that time, is that when the thought of moving abroad came to you, or you had already thought about moving abroad?
I had already thought about moving abroad prior to that, mainly because of the fact that I saw things changing rapidly in the US, from the political atmosphere, from the way people were interacting with each other, but the economy. The economy. I saw the economy swiftly changing. And I thought, although, and I was self employed as a contract nurse, I thought, if I'm going to retire, I'm going to be in a place where there's more tranquility and I can get more for that dollar bill.
Yeah.
I could get more for the dollar bill. So I started thinking about it before COVID. And I knew that at some point it would not be in Estados Unidos or the US. I knew that because I wanted a place where what you wear and what you have is not the center of your happiness. But what God, who you are, who God created you to be, and to have that peace of mind. Because to have that peace of mind to me was more important than living in a million dollar plus home.
Yes. Because in the U.S., so many people base your success on what you have, what you drive, where you work, and it's
Had all of that,
unfortunate.
and so they would just like I was a movie star. You see, I'm serious because, and people compete, but I was never into that. So when many people who desired to have the things that I have, to live the way I did, they were like, when they found out, to me, it was just material things, but my happiness and health, mental and physical, was more important. It was a big turnoff because they couldn't understand that motive.
Yes. Keep going. I'm gonna with some of this I want to be
during
able to.
COVID, it was an opportunity to reassess, to stop, and to think, what is it that you want? What is it that you want to wake up to every day other than working 12 hours a day, nonstop, and just, never having time to even think, and having money in the bank. I mean, and going on a vacation 2 or 3 times a year. That's good. But for me, it was like, what's going to make you happy most of the time? And I realized something. Having that inner peace within myself in good health, because I saw so many people in their 30s and 40s having heart attacks, high blood pressure, whatever. And I thought, this is not going to be my life, living in nice homes beyond one, the nice bills, and you go home. And when you leave, you're dealing with the same trap of people desiring to have what you have, and they're miserable. And so, long story short, I said, I'm going to take this opportunity when I have time off to revisit some of the places that I have experienced through my parents, and what Costa de Sal, which is the coast of Spain, Malaga, Valencia, Costa Rica. I was taking that time to reassess MERIDA, and and I tell people, before you move abroad, analyze who you are. Write down what's money. Yeah, is important, but in terms of happiness, and until you do that, no matter what country you go to, it may not be a fit for you, but you have to make a decision. What do you need in terms of finances, and what's going to really make you and your family happy most of the time? And unless you take an inventory of that, I don't care if you move to France, Paris, Italy, Switzerland, London, and I have friends and people that have lived in those countries, and they have left because they realize, guess what? I'm not happy. Now, who wouldn't be happy in Paris, London, Switzerland? Because, as I said, it's more to life than money.
Yeah.
And having that outer appearance of being happy, and inwardly you're not.
Yeah.
So that's when, like I said, I had the time to reassess.
Mm-hmm.
And I remained there and did not retire earlier because my mother became seriously ill.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to wait until she made her transition before
Mhm.
moving.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I can tell you why I decided MERIDA as opposed to um, Valencia, Barcelona, because I've been to many of those places several times,
Mm-hmm.
but why I chose MERIDA.
Yes. So tell us why.
Okay.
We want to know why Merida.
As I said before, anyone makes a decision about moving abroad, reassess who you are. What's going to bring you happiness over and beyond having the money coming in is finding out, is security important to you? Having inner peace.
Mm-hmm.
What about the people in that area?
Mm-hmm.
What do you know about it? It brings you back to who you are, even if it's in Africa. You know, what about that particular place, the people that is going to bring you happiness?
Mm-hmm.
So, in going to those places, I looked at the cost of living,
Mm-hmm.
which was going up because right now, and it started 4 or 5 years ago, extra hardios from Canada and the US started going to the places that they say are the best places for expats to move.
Mm-hmm.
And unlike how we think as a people, their intentions is just like the US, to buy a lot of land, a lot of homes, resell them, Airbnb it.
Mm-hmm.
So many of the places in Europe, and I know from having family there, the US,
Mm-hmm.
Portugal, Spain, Germany, and I have people there.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have some of the same issues unless you, into consideration. For me, I chose Mexico because I realized no matter what happens to the economy world, and I will still be able
Mm-hmm.
to make it.
Mm-hmm.
That my dollar will stretch
Yes.
a long way. Same thing with parts of Africa.
Yeah.
Your dollar will be able to stretch because it hasn't hit Africa as much as Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And many of our people, whether they're from Canada or the US, have had to leave from different parts of Europe because the economy has doubled in the past 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And now the local people there, some of whom they don't want expats.
And I know it's a lot of people going around saying that a lot of people are leaving Africa too because they were ill prepared. They got over there and was living like they lived in the U.S. all this spending in debt.
The same here. Many expats, and this is it. Before a person, for me, I'm blessed because of the exposure of having traveled with my parents since my dad was a pilot.
Mm-hmm.
I knew vacation and you're at Disney World, all these different places, your money, your dollars will dry up. So for many of the expats that are here, and ones I know in Mexico, when I did not go out and because I've already done what they're doing for over 30 years. So I know, what do I need to do? What's prepared me? And the most important thing is you sit there, you make a budget, and you say, okay, these things are important, but my game plan is to have that money, be able to save either to rent and to use it to my advantage. See, while the pesos was down, I knew one day it'd go up. So I let that money sit until the peso started shooting up, taking that interest from my accounts, whatever, in the US, and doing that. And if a person gets there like a kid and you don't have a budget and a plan, and you're traveling every other week, and there's nothing wrong with traveling, but if you don't have a budget and a plan, you're going to find yourself after a couple of months with your money all the way down. And so I didn't do that. I immersed myself, and I took Spanish in college, but it had been years. So I immersed myself in going to classes to relearn to speak Spanish. But not only that, for free, I started looking at the free things because that's knowledge.
Yeah, because I noticed
free things.
Yeah, I've only been down here 6 weeks, but I noticed that they have a whole list of things for you to do that's free concerts, all kind of stuff. Yeah,
but there's a game plan behind that. As you immerse yourself in the free things and the people that are there, you're learning. You're developing relationships. So unlike others that were going, Ciudad de Mexico, Costa Rica, Belize, whatever, mine is this. I'm here. And I already had friends that were here. So that helped. But I immersed myself with the free things. And subsequently, as I continued to go to those free things, including Zumba classes, the arts, I developed a core of people, 28.
Community.
That own, remember that own these buildings that you see.
Yeah, community.
That own these buildings. Husbands, attorneys, some of them own. And subsequently, because I immersed myself, learned the language, and was humble. Humility, not bragging about what I have, but humble. If I was at whatever you can do, I would be the first person there with a broom or mop when it was raining, cleaning, not asking for a penny. And you know what? They saw that and embraced me because I didn't come in with the well, I'm on a YouTube channel. Look at me. You see, when you want to immerse yourself and you're in another country, the most important thing I know is this. Develop your relationship with God and pray every day.
Yes.
Every day, no matter what, giving him thanks and praise for life, for your family, for what you do have, and be humble. Number 2, be open to what God is telling you. Because there's beauty around, and rather than spending a lot of money, gold that you can accumulate in your pocketbook is free. Free. So that's what I did. Family. I developed a tribal community that their families have lived here for centuries. And not only do they live here, Costa Rica, Belize, totally. And they embraced me because I wasn't looking to take and charge them for this. And it was the biggest blessing. And the one thing I can tell people, when you do decide to move abroad, wherever that may be, is to be humble and to get involved in the free things around you, because you're then embracing that culture and meeting people. And as they see you, they're so loving and kind. They will embrace you. But not only that, offer what you do have. For me, it was the medical knowledge and being humble and volunteering to assist if they were sick or if they needed something, their mother was sick, and providing that for free, because guess what? We all need each other without charging people. And when people see your heart, you won't ever have to worry about
that. Takes you a long way.
Well, if it takes you a long way. Or I know the ortho neurosurgeons here, the nurses, the attorneys. Community.
Yes, it takes you a long way.
Community. And so once I get situated in terms of relocating, not from Merida, but, from where I'm at now into another house, I'm going to volunteer 1 or 2 days a week at the hospital, working with
Okay.
the children, not for money, volunteer because it opens up so many doors. If you have a gift such as singing, art, whatever, there's a community for you, whether it's in Kenya, Ghana, Portugal. But for so many expats, once they get to another country, they embrace themselves with other expats.
Yeah.
And so you don't grow, you don't develop. Many opportunities and blessings that could come to you, you shut them off because you close the door and you're in a little
You hitting on
circle.
so many good topics. I'm telling you, it's
Experience
yeah.
from my parents, from having lived abroad and living in other places, and not saying, well, look at who I am. Do you want my art? People don't care about that.
Because a lot of people say, as elders, like when you get above 45 and 50, I've been even noticing like some of the topics on YouTube. Well, how do you make friends at 45 and 50 and 60 and 70? And you just touched on it with you saying, go volunteer. People can
My
see your
friends
heart.
are from age 18 to 84. I scuba dive, I parachute. Seriously.
That's wonderful.
No,
That is wonderful.
I do planks.
Okay.
Wait a minute. But my friends, because I embrace them with those things, people don't care about age other than those that are in a four-wall apartment house. Because basically, when you embrace God, God doesn't look at you and put you in a box. And once you know who you are with God, those things are from the flesh. But once you reach a level with God, that the most important thing is to embrace the people around. All of that thinking comes from man. From Africa, we loved each other, whether you were 2 or 102. And
Yeah.
once you can get your spirit out of those boxes, honey, you may be 60 or 70 with a 30 or 40-year-old man, but he may have the wisdom of Abraham.
Yeah.
You see, and you block yourself off the blessings when you start using just what you see, your brain, as opposed to your spirit. The spiritual world is far stronger and greater than what you see.
Yes.
And that's why, for what's getting ready to happen, not only in the US, but other countries, with putting people in office who have hate, negativity, control that. Those people thrive off of the flesh and negativity because they're insecure. They know that their power is coming to an end. They know this.
Yes.
The 400 years is up.
Yes.
So just like I tell people, go back in history before Sodom and Gomorrah, during Noah's and Abraham's time. There's history. And when you repeat that history with negativity and hate, destruction is coming rapidly.
Yes.
Because the spiritual world is stronger and greater with God than what you see.
Yes.
And I tell people, your greatest enemy is yourself and fear. And you can live in your bubble thinking, okay, I'm going to wait another 2 or 3 years till we have 400,000 or 500,000. Or you may have $500 in the bank. Trust your spirit, because anytime you have people in place who are filled with hate and you know it, and you keep hearing a voice telling you to prepare, not work, prepare.
Yeah.
And they're getting ready to take out the majority of the people that's the food supply chain that brings in food for you to eat. And those people are leaving. You have to ask yourself, you can either stay there and wait for the danger to come and then wonder how you're going to eat, not from week to week, from day to day, when a loaf of bread. But I said, listen to your spirit, prepare. But the most greatest thing that you can do is overcome your own fears.
Yep.
Now, many of you may have in the bank. My suggestion to you is this. This is where your faith kicks in. And I'm not one of those super religious people, but I'm telling you, when you start seeing the masses of rich people who started moving abroad 8 to 10 years ago, quietly move. And when I say rich, well over 100, 200 million in their accounts. There's something going on. Listen to your spirit and say, okay, all right, maybe God is telling. But maybe for some of you, you're fine where you're at, and that's okay. But the greatest thing I can say is listen to your spirit. Do not move abroad and just get in a car and go if you have not been to that place, because you will self-destruct emotionally. You will self-destruct emotionally. Check it out. Check it out. Don't just go and listen to a YouTuber and say, okay, this is all we have in the bank, but we're going to go, because you may end up in a worse position.
Yes.
I'm telling you, check it out. If you have the money, stay there if you can, a week or two before you make the move. And for some, you may decide, okay, we're going to stay in the U.S. What is a place that you can go that's going to be a safe haven if something should occur?
Yes.
Where is going to be a safe haven for you and your family? It could be
off the mainland.
Exactly.
Hawaii.
Right.
Puerto Rico.
Exactly.
St. John, St. Thomas.
Exactly. Because the laws that's getting ready to be implemented,
we have some
goes for the entire United States.
Oh, look, the fulfillment of my son. Hi, Big John. And Sue, are you still in the Gambia? No, I'll be there in February. So yes, Big John is saying preach. So continue on.
Okay. What I can tell you to do is pray about your decision before you make any decision, and wait for God to direct your steps. Number two, if those steps are out of Estados Unidos, U.S., quickly get you and your family passports before you cannot get them.
Yes.
Because what's coming down that's been announced is even naturalized citizens are going to be kicked out of the U.S. That's naturalized citizens from other countries that have been there all their life.
That's terrible.
So if that is where the Spirit says, get your passport rapidly. Don't wait to go to a major city. Go to a small little country town where you can get it in less than a week. Number three, do your preparation. Rather than spending time watching TV, get on the internet and start Googling about that place. Know everything about the country, the cost of living, the people, the history, the climate, because it may not be for you. Just because YouTubers are encouraging you to go to Switzerland, Paris, Ghana, whatever, it may not be a fit for you. What did I say? Go back to your list of what is it going to take to make you and your family survive based on the income you have. And number two, if you don't speak the language of a country, remember, it is vital that once you get there, you start learning how to. Now, if Mexico's not for you, or Africa, then there are countries of which many of these countries, the people speak English. Panama City may be for you. Puerto Rico, many of the people there speak English. So those are things to take into factor. Find out how much is it going to be to rent an apartment or a house. Do you think you can, live in that particular area? That's why you need to get on the land. Find out, is this for you? Find out the healthcare system, because Medicare, private health insurance, does not exist once you leave the U.S. Yeah. But there are countries that have some of the best health care that's cheap. Mexico, Costa Rica, even Thailand. Another thing to consider that's very important, if you are leaving and moving abroad and you still have family in the U.S., now, how often do you intend to see them? because you need to find out how much the cost of a round trip plane ticket is. And if you and your family, if it's more than two, we're talking about $3,000 or $4,000, if not more.
Yeah.
What if there's an emergency? Will you have the funds?
Right.
I decided here because this is where the Spirit was leading me, but more importantly, it was close to my family. If anything goes down, I can, hey, take a plane, car, whatever, and be right there to be able to get them over the finish line. For others who are moved to Thailand or Vietnam, may not be as quick. These are things to consider that most people don't think about because they want to have a vacation and enjoy themselves. But all vacations in Disney World come to an end.
Yes, they do.
And what if you have, like I said, a family medical emergency and you have to get to them and all you have is $50 or $100 in the bank? Things to consider.
Yes.
And a lot of times people get caught because they haven't thought those things through.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're single or solo, don't have any kids, it may not matter. But life happens. And if you have not made preparation, there's not going to be anyone in another country to say, well, here's a couple $1,000 for
Right.
you. It's not. And another thing is this. With people in other countries, don't expect them to be running to be your friends. As I said, for me, it was about immersing myself in free activities while other expats were traveling to other cities, other countries. But for me, I knew once you immerse yourself in just other free activities, you learn and grow, but you also develop a tribe.
Mm-hmm.
You develop
That's
a
important.
tribe
That's
of
important.
the native people. And look, they have the knowledge. I tell people, why are you paying thousands of dollars for a YouTuber who wasn't born and raised there and has limited knowledge other than a few years, maybe a year? When if you immerse yourself with the people before you even get there, because there's online groups 50-70% less to get your visa residency, and they know the layout of the land.
Yep.
They know the people that can help you once you get there, whether it's doctors, dentists, housing, rental.
Yes.
For me, it's okay if you feel like you want to, give your money to another expat. But remember this, they were not born and raised in that country. So when you connect with the people that live there, you're going to have a support system.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You're going to have a support system.
And that's why I'm continuing to go to Gambia.
There you go. Exactly.
Okay. It says, the question is, what do you do now to make money?
I don't have to. Who worked on Wall Street. I learned a lot. Was married. I'm divorced now. So through my knowledge of investments from real estate in the United States and making good investments, thanks to my ex-husband, I don't have to worry about that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, praise God. Praise God. And even if I didn't, I'm a very resourceful person. So even if I didn't, because of the fact that, as I said, I know how to scuba dive, parachute. If I didn't, I could teach that here. I could teach swimming, scuba diving. You see what I'm saying? Because
not to
I
mention
have
your
skills.
profession, you're a retired nurse.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. So I'm a survivor. I am a survivor. You hear? So mine is this. If you have any kind of skill, do it. You can go to a country if you have a little bit of money saved up, get you a small place that may have an attachment and rent out that other portion. Rent out that other portion so you have money coming in that's helping to pay for your rent.
Yes.
I know people, what they have done is this. They're renting out their house in the U.S. and they're using that money towards the rent in another country.
Yep.
So, but if you don't have a house or an apartment, write down the skills that you have And so you can become an entrepreneur or obtain something online because the cost of living in other countries is 40 to 60% less than in the US and Canada. Seriously. So write down and have a game plan. Have a game plan so that you do have income coming in before you make that landing. Test it out. Start doing some remote work from the US. Test it out. I know 4 people here from age 26, and the oldest is 42.
Mm-hmm.
They had part-time or full-time remote jobs before they moved to Mexico. One now just relocated to Thailand.
Okay.
But they're young. They already obtained those remote jobs that they looked and knew that they could, do it remotely from another country.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all got skills. Use it. But whatever you do, like I said, have a game plan, whether it's to relocate still in the US, and that's okay too, because some of you need that emotional support and you need health care. For others, get out.
And for people that can't or don't have a skill to work remote, if you have a trade, your trade goes with you anywhere.
Exactly.
And you can teach. Like me, I have 37 plus years of cosmetology, so I can go teach.
Right.
They'll hire me because I'm
exactly.
blue passport.
Right. Exactly.
So I know I don't
Exactly.
have a problem with going
Exactly.
into any country and teaching cosmetology with my
Right.
experience.
Exactly.
I'm a caterer.
Exactly.
An event planner. I do events.
Right.
I sing. So I
Right.
have all these skills, that I
Right.
can use, so I don't have that to worry about.
Right.
I don't worry about those type of things.
Exactly.
Because I can put an event together real quick.
Right. But again, it's important if you are going to consider going to predominant countries such as Colombia, Guatemala, or Ecuador, Mexico, that you learn not fluent, but some Spanish.
Communication.
Exactly. It's important,
Communicable.
whether you have those skills or not. Now, if you don't want to learn like Portuguese, Spanish, it's okay. There are other countries you can go to of which you can still utilize those skills, such as Portugal, various places in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, if it's Spanish speaking, I don't care. You're going to have to learn something. It's not that difficult.
Yeah.
Just that same time you use, watching TV or in the bedroom, cut it back by 2 hours. Cut it back by 2 or 3 hours and use it for.
And you got to be persistent.
Exactly.
You got to be persistent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But y'all can do it because what's getting ready to come down the pipeline for many, if you are dependent on the government, most federal government jobs, over 70-80% are about to be eliminated. We're talking about millions of people. Government funding, even for education.
And what is that going to look like?
For children,
Ugh.
school lunches, after school care. What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose if you don't have a job? Or your job's cut in half and you're only they paint a picture of many countries being dangerous. What's dangerous? I've been able to go out to dinner on my own, go to, the concerts or whatever, 9-10 o'clock at night, walking or Uber without.
I tell you, I feel very safe here.
I am so safe.
I feel very safe
God.
here.
Look to see, the place, because security here is excellent, and even in various parts of Africa. That's the picture the media has because they don't want you to leave. You know why?
Yeah.
They want that dollar bill.
Yeah.
But I can guarantee you, most people with money, they already have a place outside of the U.S. and have had it.
Yes.
That's all I can say. But they paint that picture because they want that dollar.
So what would you say to the people who is not as established as you? Because that when you say people that have money, so what about the people that okay, I know for a fact, just watching YouTube, there is a lot of seniors, bless their hearts, that do not make $1,000 a month, or just that anywhere from 1,000 to 1,200, something even at 700, and especially in California, they're living in their cars and things like that. What do you say to people like that? Because this is what I'm thinking. For people even with low income like that, if you come together and do a cooperative, like co-op living, say you get 5 or 6 women, and say, look, I want to get out of here. This is what I make. I make $700 or $900 a month. And 5 of us go and stay
Right.
in one big house. You see what I'm saying?
You can
We
make
put
it.
that
You
money
can make it.
together.
You can make
And
it.
then, hey,
You can make it.
now you can do it because you're going as a collective group, and then you all are
Exactly.
sharing in the groceries, the utilities.
Exactly.
So don't think
Exactly.
that just because you don't make this
Exactly.
exorbitant amount of
Exactly.
money that you cannot
Right.
leave the United States. Yes, you can.
There's-
You just have to
right.
find people that's like-minded like
Right.
you, that's going to be moving in the same direction
Exactly.
as you.
And you can do
You
that
know?
on YouTube. And there
Yeah.
are places here you can even rent for less than $500 a month that are 2 bedroom, fully furnished, equipment. And there are senior facilities here that cost less than $1,000 a month with attendant care, with doctors that come in and dentists once a week. Once a week. What? So it can be done. But again, there are some people that are not only doing that here in Mexico, they're doing it in Africa,
Yes.
from Nigeria.
Cooperatives.
Right. And right now they're offering like golden visas from Nigeria
Yeah.
to Kenya to Portugal, I mean, Thailand. And that's an excellent idea. And now
Yeah.
you can get like a tiny house, put them together.
Yes.
Look, but I'm talking about for less than $4,000.
Yes.
Fully.
Yes. I'm telling you, you do not have to be stuck.
Exactly.
You do not have to be stuck
You
just
can be
because
a
you're making this.
community.
Yeah.
Right.
You move in a community. You learn. So long we have in our community, been by, you by yourself. You doing this on your own. As you when you start aging, you need community.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You don't
Mhm.
need to be like
Right.
like right now it's this thing of solo traveling, solo this, solo that. Well, if you don't have the money to solo, then you need to, get together and move in with community and in unison.
And what people don't understand, when you see all these individuals, whether it's 4 or 5 or one solo traveling, as I can, ask yourself, what is their group outside of that 1 or 4 or 5 of which they are bringing other people together to assist people, to assist those, whether it's 7 senior citizens or 7 people who are also single, to assist them once they land on the ground and helping them to find a house together where they could all live, including the senior. That's community. It's not selling people on pipe dreams and they move to Thailand or Portugal, and then the people on YouTube they follow don't live there. But solo travelers are making a lot of money off of these YouTubes. 100, 200,000 for various types of summits or whatever. But what is that putting in your pocket once you get there and you don't have community to support you, and one day turns into 1 month, 2 months, and you don't have community? You're back to what you left in the US. So my thing is this: start looking for people that have similar interests as you, things to do outside of just the YouTubers or summit. And you'll see, if you have those common interests and can get along, because you may decide, guess what? We're going to get like 2 houses together where we share and have our own space, but we're together and can help each other.
Yes.
Because it becomes a lonely feeling if you're in another country and those solo travelers or 4 or 5, they're not there. They're back to their home country, doing them and getting the next group of people their money so they can, hey, sell them on Costa Rica or wherever. It's so important. And because think about it, we came out of community from Africa.
Yes.
We took care of our grandparents and great grandparents who lived to be over 100.
Yes.
That's what the ideal system of having great health, great minds, and you learn from each other.
Yes.
Now, I know some of you are thinking, oh man, I don't know if I could live with other black folks or whatever. Well, look, what choice do you have now?
Hello.
What choice?
Hello.
Wait a minute, some of you may be in all white communities. Wait a minute. Are they there when you get sick? Are they there, look, when you're lonely and depressed? You may just find a group of 3 or 4 of you, man, this is the best thing I experienced. And one knows how to look, decorate to the hilt. Another one knows how to do hair, cosmetologist, and nails. Another one is a traveler and has traveled, or one in the medical field. Y'all can come together.
Yes.
Right now, it's a thing of survival
Right.
with God and
Right.
your mind,
Right.
and giving up that selfishness and wanting to control.
Yes.
Because all it's landed us in a people now is, look, being on a road going nowhere.
Nowhere.
No,
And being stuck and miserable.
exactly.
Being
Take
stuck
it from
and
the
miserable.
people you look down on. I'm going to tell you, here in Mexico, 68% of all people in Mexico who are Mexicans own their own homes. Own their own homes. Fact. What about Black Americans? 68%? I don't think so. Do you know why? Because they are community. As family, they help each other to buy homes.
That's what I noticed on the weekends when I'm out at the malls and things. That's all you see here, man.
Fam-
It's family. It's all you see. Mother, father, children, grandmother. Even when I'm traveling on the airplane here.
Same in Thailand.
Yes.
Same in various parts of Africa.
Yes.
Family.
Yes.
Same
Yes.
in India.
Multiple generations.
Exactly. And
Multiple.
they take care of their parents and grandparents, and
Yes.
God blesses them.
Yes.
God, rather than throwing them in a nursing home like the U.S. or say, you got yours, I'm getting mine. And they healthy. I see women in their 80s and 90s, grocery bags all on their backs, and healthy. They
Yeah.
take care of their parents.
Yeah.
And that's it. You may not have them living, but guess what? You have you. And if we can come together, even 3 or 4 of you living together and helping support each other if one gets sick, because we all have to get old, but there's some people here that are older, way older than you, that are in better shape.
I see them at the grocery stores
Exactly.
bagging groceries. I'm like, well,
Exactly.
wait a minute.
Exactly. And they're in their what? 70s, 80s, and some look
Yes.
possibly 90s.
And moving well.
Mo-
And moving well.
Hello, because they
So.
take care of each. Getting ready to go down the pipeline. I don't care how much money you have. Money cannot save you once you get sick. Your
Yeah.
kids are working, unless you want to go to a nursing home, and then the next step is 6 feet under. My health, that's another reason I moved here. The food is fresh, organic, but my health is more important than $100,000-$200,000 in a bank account, or $300,000 in investment.
Physical health and mental health.
Exactly. And stress.
Right.
Being here, it's a slower pace of life. I have peace of mind. Peace of mind without the stress.
The sun is up so high. It just gives you
Right.
like a positive
Right.
attitude. You know what I mean?
The same. Happens, you'll be going, oh my God, why are you stressing out? God has a plan for your life. And I suggest the most important thing is connecting to Him and overcoming your own fears. Now, leaving the country may not be for you, but one piece of recommendation I would say is move. Move. Where? Move. Someplace that's affordable and someplace where you can walk out on your kids without looking and seeing if your life is in danger.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so. I mean, for me, I have such peace of mind now. I have a community. I don't have all the whistles and bells that I had living in the U.S., but those things weren't important anyway. People just did that because of the fact that they wanted to feel superior than other people. And at the end of the day, who gives a rat's ass?
So let me ask you that, since you mentioned that about, some of the amenities and things that we have in the U.S. that you have to get used to. Like, okay, so in Gambia and as well as here, because I've been both places, I've been many places, but long periods of time over there in Africa, West Africa, and then here. Um, so how did you do when you first got here? Did you experience the power outages, or like um, trying to remember to cook with the water, not drink the water from the faucet and that kind of thing?
I knew about that from age 4 and 5 because my dad was a pilot. I was here when I was like 5 or 6, so
That it was
it wasn't nothing new.
just natural.
Yes,
It was like second nature.
yeah, even Colombia and Mexico City. You see, so I already knew.
Yeah.
And
You were prepared
and
mentally.
one of my best girlfriends, who is from Nigeria, retired airline stewardess.
Mhm.
Um, we were college classmates, so I was able to fly, my buddy passes.
Okay.
So you see what? Well, so community. So I was familiar,
Mhm.
whether it be Kenya or Portugal. If you were expecting perfection, it's not going to happen in other countries like the U.S. There's going to be power outages, maybe for a couple hours, maybe for a few days. In some places, there'll be a lot of rain, cold weather, but don't expect people to jump when you make a call saying, I expect you here at this time to make repairs. I'm having water problems or electricity. It may not happen. They'll say they'll come, and they may come, look, 3 or 4 days later. It's a fact. And that's just how it is in other countries. So if you're a plumber, they will welcome you with arms. Just learn to go with the flow without being stressed out.
Yeah.
And if you're the type person who needs it right then and there, then you need to remain, like I said, in the U.S., because it's not going to happen. Maybe unless you're in London or Manchester or France, boom, boom, boom. But that's the trade-off. But the natural beauty, the love, you can't beat it. I have not, other than want to name it, experience racism here or Colombia or Costa Rica, but in various parts of Europe, I have. I have, but I'm not trying to persuade you from not going there. But expect that. And also, if you're the type person that has to have your mama's home cooked collard greens, cornbread, fried chicken, bring your own pots and do it. It's not going.
Try to ease your seasonings in.
And ease your seasoning in. Okay. Now there is a growing large population in Portugal of Africans. So you'll be able to get some of that there. And there's some Jamaicans here, Ciudad de Mexico, Colombia. You'll be able to get your Jamaican jerk and all of that.
Yeah.
But if you're expecting your mama's home cook, hey, pig feet, chitlins, bring your own pots. Whether it's here, Colombia, Dominican Republic, bring up. I mean, that's the trade-off. But you know what? For me, the trade-off is my mental stability and health. Yes. My mental stability and peace of mind. Hey, get those pots, gal. Look, and that's a skill you can use and start charging and making money. They will pay, including whites. They will pay a lot. Here, and in Colombia, Portugal, they will pay a lot, whites and blacks, for some good soul food.
Heck
Trust you me,
yeah.
there's your income, there's your business, there's your business. And Mexicans, they will pay for some good soul.
Yes,
I'm
indeed.
just being honest as I can.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. There you go. But if you're looking for perfection, quick service for whatever. And another thing, some of the stores that you see and have there in the US now, they do have Home Depot, Costco. But depending on the area, if you need Costco, Home Depot, Lowe's, and many of those stores, depending on where you decide to go, they may not have it for 100 miles. So you need to check it out, find out, do they have some of these stores here that I really need?
Mhm.
And if not, then look for an area. Another thing is this, are you going to be comfortable living within the city? Or are you okay living 20 or 30 miles out?
Yeah.
Wait, because there may not be stores for 10 or 15 or 20 miles.
Yeah.
And unless you're having your car shipped, are you going to be happy like that?
I'm shipping mine.
Right.
Because the taxis eat you up over in Gambia.
Right, exactly, exactly. For me, mine's is in Estados Unidos, the U.S., but I will be getting, because it's cheap, a used car here after I move. So for many, like in Merida and a couple other places, you really don't need a car because Uber is so cheap. But if you're the type person that once you get situated, you want to have that freedom to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's me. I have to have my own car. I don't even care if I had to drive a moped.
Right. Right.
I got to have my own.
But yeah,
wheels.
you can get a nice used car here for, $7 or $8 grand and keep it rolling. Keep it rolling.
Mhm.
Keep it rolling.
Yeah.
Keep it rolling.
Yeah. So anything else you can think of as we wind it up? Because you have covered. You have gone from cover to cover. I didn't look. She's a good interviewee because I haven't even had to barely ask questions. She just took it over.
Look, thank you so much, sweetheart. But that just comes from experience. It's not like I'm a novice in terms of traveling.
And you can tell. You can tell.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm just going to tell you, do not move solo or even as a family if you don't have emotional support. I think it's so important. If you don't have it and move, you can obtain it. The most important thing is this. Once you get situated, start immersing yourself in some of the free activities at least once a week, or your kids. And once you do, and people will come to you because they have loving, kind hearts, they will embrace you. In the event that you become emotionally homesick, wait, you're sick, you just need to have one or two good friends for you and your family.
Yeah.
The one thing I find is in other countries, people are more loving and kind, to be honest with you, than in the U.S.
Absolutely.
And they will be there for you. They're
Absolutely.
not giving you a bunch of BS. Now, just like there's some kind people in the U.S. and Canada, there are some kind people, hey, whether it be Nigeria, Ghana, Gambia, Portugal. So be careful. But you will grow as a person and have peace of mind by just slowing down and deciding what kind of life do we want to live without having the stress of bills, and pressure. If things change totally in the U.S., and that's what's about to occur.
Yes.
You can immerse yourself thinking the dollar bill is everything, and once you get that house, that car, things are going to change. But the one thing I know is this: when you start seeing an entire country change and the laws change, and people more or less want a dictator that will rule, I'm not saying that will happen. I don't know. It's a person there's something that's just not right here.
Right.
There's something that's just not, and everywhere you turn, you're seeing more hate for you and your children.
Yes.
Is that the kind of life you want to live every week, every month?
And hearing it on the news. Constantly.
And feeling it.
Yes.
And experiencing it. God intended for us We are his chosen people. We remember we are his chosen people. He intended for us to have a life filled with him, happiness, and love. And regardless of how crazy some of our people are, they're still your people and my people.
Yeah.
Regardless. But the first thing is to love yourself and say, do I deserve to be happy? For my family to be happy and have peace of mind, as opposed to being freaking stressed out day. Because I'm going to tell you, all you have to look at, there's Obama and Michelle, and they still consider them to be. Do you hear what I'm saying? Wait, and for them, it's about peace of mind. So remember that, and remember to love yourself. And if you love yourself, you want peace of mind and happiness for you and your family. But whatever you do, don't sleep on it and think, oh, okay, well, we'll just wait another 2 or 3 years. By then, you may be in a jumpsuit like somebody else we know that's a billionaire. That's all I got to say about that.
Look, find your tribe.
That's it.
Find your tribe. Find your tribe. If you at $800 a month or $900 a month, find you 5 people with $900 a month.
That's it.
Get y'all passports.
That's it. There
pack
you
y'all
go.
stuff.
There you go.
Get out there at them flea markets, sell things, and so you can help you get your plane ticket.
There you go.
And get to going.
That's it.
And if y'all need any help, I got people on the ground over in the Gambia.
That's it. And I have people here in Merida and Ciudad de Mexico, including realtors born and raised here. Don't trust, all I can say is this. Don't trust YouTubers unless they were born and raised here, because the people who were born and raised, they got the deals. They know where the properties are that aren't even listed and will help you. I'm not saying all YouTubers are like that. There are some that are good, but the native people, whether they're Nigeria, Gambia, wait a minute, the ones that have been traveling there for a long time, over and beyond a year or two, like Justina, can help you. You can take that hard-earned money and use it towards, look, y'all get in a place together. That's the most important thing that I can say. And I'm going to get with Justina. If we can put together these folks in areas, right, and utilize the local people so y'all can not only exist, but be happy and help each other, I believe that's the direction God wants us to go. I know it in my heart, because what's getting ready to go down, I don't think
we're going to need each other.
Exactly. Thank you so much for having me on. And I wish y'all the best. May God bless y'all with good health, peace of mind, and finding the right tribe for you and your family. So you can exist and flourish.
Yes. Jesus' name.
Yes.
All right, guys. So y'all, let's thank Miss Lynn Sade for all of those. She was throwing out all of those jewels, and her wisdom and encouragement. And so, guys, you all like and share and subscribe. You have a channel?
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, we'll be looking out for her to get her channel up and running, and I'm sure she's gonna let me know when she gets her channel up and running, and I'll send y'all on over to her channel. And I'm sure this is not going to be the first time that we do this, because even if I'm in the Gambia and she's here in Merida, we can still come on the same tune and talk and educate and inspire you guys. Don't care what age you are, guys. You can make this. You can live abroad. You don't have to stay captive. So guys, get out, explore, find your tribe. Okay? Like, share, subscribe, and buy me coffee. Toodles.
Love you. Bye. Bye. Are we still on?